The SB Tactical PDW brace, let's check it out. Just brace it. There are a number of different rifle designs that have been shortened down to a pistol, and this makes a really compact package. Originally, these were pretty difficult to fire, somewhat, awkward. But with the advent of the pistol brace, it's changed everything. Now, SB Tactical was one of the original designers of the pistol brace, and I believe SIG Arms bought that patent and started selling the SIG arm braces. And it really did change the way that people looked at these little small pistols. But SB Tactical went out on their own, and they are designing some of the coolest arm braces on the market. This little PDW brace is just phenomenal. And it's just good and solid. It opens up to a nice package, and yet it just collapses down to something really small. Now we have one of the CMMG guards, and this is in the 9mm. I just did a full review on this recently. And then we're going to add the SB Tactical, and this is the PDW brace. And this is a really cool adjustable brace system. It really kind of compacts the pistol to a really small form. This is a very high quality piece. The brace is made of aluminum with steel rods. We have the buffer tube right here, and you can use your standard buffer tube, which also makes it nice, has a built-in castle nut. And then we have the rubberized brace back here with the strap. One thing about these is you need to make sure you retain your strap on your brace. That's very important, and we'll demonstrate it at the range. Right here is your lever to be able to release the brace, to be able to adjust it. There are 3 different positions, fully extended, and then right here, and then all the way in. Go ahead and remove your upper receiver from your lower receiver. Now we need to remove the CAC shockwave brace so we can get to our buffer tube. Now we had to place this in padded jaws in a vise because I don't have a magwell block for 9mm for a Glock mag. So first thing I'm going to do is bring back your buffer and your spring, and let's depress the detent so we can bring this out. Next, because the CAC buffer tube is thicker, I didn't have any armorer's wrench that would fit over this, so I'm using one of the Tapco armorer's wrenches because it has the opening. So I can bring it in to here, and then we can loosen it up. Alright, there we go. Just bring it back. Now we're going to move our end plate, but we're going to hold on to the buffer retaining pin. Going to bring it back just a little bit, and then we're going to turn our plate, capturing the spring right here that is the retainer pin for your takedown pin. So we're going to go ahead and pull that spring out, and then as we turn it, we're going to release our buffer retaining pin. It is under spring tension. Once it kind of pops up, it'll stay there. We're going to go ahead and pull out our buffer retaining pin because it's going to get in the way of the CAC buffer tube, and we're just going to remove it. Now we need to remove the back portion of the brace, and so right here is your adjustment lever, but on the other side is another lever. So we're going to depress both at the same time and just pull our stock out. And we're going to need these 2 pieces to make the installation. I'm going to take some of this Aeroshell 33 lithium grease. I get this on eBay. I'll have a link for it down below. I use a Q-tip because this stuff will really get on your hands. It's kind of an anti-seize compound. We're just going to put it on the threads. It'll also keep from galling. We're going to go ahead and return our buffer retainer pin spring and buffer retaining pin. We're going to take our takedown retainer pin spring, place it into the hole. Going to bring in a brace adapter to make sure we don't bind this retainer spring. All right, there we go. And then we're going to tighten down on our buffer tube. Just going to go hand tight until we can feel the buffer retaining pin in the receiver. Now go ahead and depress your buffer retaining pin and tighten this hand tight, and that's going to retain it. Next, we're going to bring in our armorer's wrench and tighten down the castle nut. All right. Next, we're going to bring in our adjustable brace, and we'll need to depress both sides of the adjustment lever. Push in our takedown pin, and that's full closure. Bringing it back out. There we go. Let's return our buffer spring and buffer. Make sure your takedown pin is out, and let's go ahead and install our upper receiver. And we'll remove the pistol from the vise. Now we have the brace fully installed. We're going to go ahead and test to make sure we're good to go. That is beautiful. And just to give you an idea, we have the standard cack right here. It is pulled out some, but you can tell you're collapsing down about 2.5 inches. And so that's just going to make this much easier to pack, much easier to stow. And then, of course, we can bring it out to full extension, which actually goes past where the cack was. So we've got a lot of possibilities, a lot of options. And I just think this is the coolest thing ever. Now, when pulling the stock out, you can just pull it out. But when you want to retract it, you have to hit the lever. One of the things that I was doing at the range was I was actually hitting the lever because there is some tension right here before you pull it out. So it's not just going to come loose. And if you'll notice the way the notches are cut, they're angled out, so it allows you to pull it out, and then it stops when you want to push it back in. And you do have a QD point right here that you can mount a single point sling. Now, while this is a brace, your typical PDW stocks require a special bolt carrier group. One of the problems is because this tube is typically very small on a standard PDW stock. But because of the size of this brace, this allows you to use standard buffer springs and buffers. And then you have the integral buffer tube. We're testing out some Blue Lakes ammo. This is 9mm, 147 grain, full metal jacket. Shot quite a bit of this stuff and it really works well. You can check it out at bluelakesammo.com. I want to thank them for sending the ammo for this test. And so far it's worked like a champ. Now at the range, this makes it a really compact, really cool package. Or even when you're stowing it away in a bag or whatever. It makes it really short, but yet you have the capability of being able to expand this out to all 3 positions. But you can get that extension and you can shoot it in different ways. One of the things about the brace is it gives you a lot of options. When you're just going with a buffer tube, it's a little more difficult, but you can get it on your cheek. With the brace, you have some padding right here to help. And then if you want to shoot it as it's designed to be shot with your arm through here, with the strap attached, it makes it better. The thing is, this is really made for those who are disabled veterans. This does allow them to shoot this a lot easier than with just the one hand on your pistol grip, because it can be heavy. But then of course, as the ATF has ruled, putting this on your shoulder does not change this from being a pistol. And so that's definitely a very stable way to shoot it. Some people like to put it more toward their chest, so they're not really putting it on their shoulder. But I like what one guy said. He said, just brace it. It definitely transforms this handgun into a really more of a viable self-defense option. It's solid. I mean, it doesn't move at all on the cheek. The mounting right here is just locked down. So I think the quality here really shows up in this brace. To me, out of all the different braces that I've had and used, this has to be the best I've seen so far. I love it. On the SB Tactical website, for the black, it was running $299, and I believe with the FDE it was up to $319. I started looking at some of the other distributors that are carrying it, and I know Brownells had the black for $239. So that's a considerable difference in price just by going to some of the other outlets. I think Optics Planet also had them. As far as pros and cons, let's look at cons first, because really there's only one to me, and that would be the price. Price is a little bit high, but with that being said, it's not too high for what you're getting. With this aluminum block that kind of sets in here, I think it really stabilizes the pistol. The finish, the quality is exceptional. I love the paddle being back here, being able to switch this, and you have 2 extra positions other than closed. I like this rubber piece is smaller. It's not big and bulky. I know the original braces were huge, and this really brings it down to almost really like the standard PDW stock. So I think overall this is one of the best options for a brace out on the market. Now, one thing that the ATF will say is that you're not to buy this to circumvent the NFA law, but it really makes this a short package. You can travel across state lines without permission. It is considered a handgun, and so there are some other advantages over a rifle. And it is a small package. Now you can go to sb-tactical.com for more information about the PDW brace, but also all the other braces they make for a number of different handguns. And I want to thank SB Tactical for sending the PDW brace for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. With the popularity of rifle, popularity of what? Now we're going to turn it slightly, and now we're going to it really gives you a lot of capability in this little rifle, in this little pistol. And little PDW brace and all the, okay, good God. Hey. As far as pros and cons, of the PD, now as far as pros and cons, this is a very stable platform to put this down. There's 2 other additional places, you know. Okay,